It is 2, so we will go ahead and get started. Everyone else can roll in at their leisure. Awesome. Well, hi, guys. Thanks for coming. So this is the New Hire Buddy Program informational session. So it's going to be short and sweet and to the point. We'll get you in, out, and on with your life in about 30 minutes or less. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but as most of you know, I'm Jess, the POPS coordinator, and if you were hired any time from February 15th to current, you went through me for new hire orientation and onboarding. It's kind of like my baby, and we, are working to continually improve that process. So this is kind of like onboarding 2.0, the next thing that we're rolling out to make Biology, a destination employer. People want to work here, and they have a very smooth and seamless transition into being an employee. So the New Hire Buddy program is a completely voluntary program, so thanks for taking 30 minutes out of your day to learn a little bit more about it. And we're just going to go over some high-level overview stuff so that way you know what the program is all about, kind of what it entails, what it requires, and then I'll let you know kind of what the next steps are after our informational sessions today. So, we good? Awesome. There will be frequently asked questions that I put up here, but most of you know my presentation style. If you have something to say, please say it. We want to hammer it out as it comes up and not always wait until the end, so that can get confusing. So, the New Hire Buddy program on our agenda today, where I'm going to give you the case for why we need a buddy program, the purpose of the buddy program, a little bit of an overview, and then we'll do some frequently asked questions as well. So, the case for a buddy program. I can drown you guys in statistics on orientation and onboarding. I'm such a nerd. I love to read those types of things. I'm not going to do that. I tried to pick the high level, really important ones to give to you. But 70% of employees say friends at work is the most crucial element to their happy working life, right? Like, no one loves coming to work when you work with a bunch of jerks. It just doesn't work like that. So it's always great to have friends at work. Plus, you spend more time here in a lot of cases than you do with your family, so why not enjoy the people that you're around? 50% of employees with a best friend at work feel a strong connection with their company. That's great. It's a win-win for everybody. 33% of new hires, this is the one that just blows me away. 33% of new hires look for a new job within their first 6 months on the job. So out of every 3 hires, one of them is already looking for a new job within the first 6 months. And then you can see that among millennials, and we all know millennials are completely taking over the workforce, that percentage is even higher, and it happens faster, which to me is scary. We spend all this time recruiting, onboarding, we invest in them, we interview them, a lot of you train them because you've been here for a while, just for them to leave within 6 months. That stinks. And then 20% of turnover happens within the first 45 days of employment. Again, all of this effort that we put into bringing these people on board just for it to be wasted because they get here on their first day and we're not prepared for them, or they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel like they have a lot of friends here or any friends here, they feel awkward or they don't know what's going on. We can prevent that kind of stuff. So a lot of this sounds, very self-serving and that, it's just going to help biology if we have a buddy program. Completely false. You guys are the ones that this affects on a daily basis. Because I can tell you, people that have friends at work and people that are engaged are productive more quickly, so they can take some of that workload off of your plate. They're happier, so they're nicer to be around on a daily basis, and they stay longer, which is really what we're looking for, is people who are here for longer than 6 months. Any questions on any of these? I give these facts to you because really this can't come from just VPOPS. It can't come from the executive team. It really has to start grassroots and work its way up. I need buy-in from supervisors, from individual contributors. You guys are the ones that really feel the turnover. So that is why we're rolling out the buddy program. That's why we need a buddy program, because it's going to help keep us falling victim to one of these statistics. So do you remember this? I know that each and every single one of you has experienced a first day on the job. You at least had one first day when you started here, right? So put yourself in that person's shoes. The night before your first day, you're up all night trying to make sure you're going to wear something appropriate. You're planning out your route, trying to take traffic into consideration. Should I pack a lunch? Should I not pack a lunch? I don't really know. And then you get there. You have no idea where anything is. All of these people look completely foreign to you. They're saying hi to each other. Some of them might say hi to you, some might not. And then you can't even pee without asking someone for help. Like, it's completely, it can be a terrible, terrible experience for someone. So, when you're thinking about becoming a buddy, do I want to, do I not, put yourself in that person's shoes. Wouldn't you want someone to step up and say, hey, I'll be your buddy, right? It's easy to get caught up in your day-to-day and to not remember what it's like to be a new hire when you cancel that lunch with them, or you skip that meeting, or you're like, oh, I have to reschedule. Put yourself in their shoes. So we're really trying to make that process more seamless from being a new hire into feeling like you're an employee, a contributing member of the team. So purpose of the buddy program is really twofold. The first, thing is to provide the new employee with a point of contact for general questions regarding their day-to-day operational issues, right? Where's the bathroom? Who do I contact for this? Where do I get office supplies? A lot of us assume that someone else has answered that question for them, right? But really, they have no idea what's happening and what's going on. So this is that singular point of contact that they can feel comfortable going to ask those types of daily operational questions. And then to help the new employee integrate with the company by providing access to someone who's familiar with our culture, values, and DNA. When we laid out those values and those DNA, those are Vology specific. An external hire who hasn't worked at Vology before, okay, be transparent seems pretty self-explanatory, but what does be transparent mean to Vology? What does be a servant leader mean to Vology? So we're really looking for people who can be kind of cultural captains and let someone know kind of how we operate. So I have an example. We had a director start a few weeks ago, and a customer asked him a question, and he was like, I don't know if I'm ready to answer that question for you. He had no idea what level of transparency we had with our customers as opposed to internal vendors, as opposed to each other, right? That would be a great question for a buddy, someone who's been here, who knows, and it kind of keeps all of those questions from junking up the manager's inbox. We want the managers to focus on training them on their role, not necessarily how to be a good employee here at Vology, right? So some of the things that I want to point out here is that a buddy is not a mentor. In any way, shape, or form, you are not responsible for someone's professional development because you are their buddy. A buddy is also not a manager. So whether that person excels in their role or does terrible in their role has no impact on you. You're really just there to be a friend at the office. You don't have to be their best friend. After this whole buddy program thing is said and done, you guys continue to talk, cool. You move on with your life, cool. Like, it's just to help them have someone that they're familiar with, that they're comfortable with, someone to talk to. And vice versa, you can use that person to talk to as well. So I think those are important things to point out. Do you guys have any questions about the purpose of the buddy program? Anybody on the phone? Cool. So again, I kind of pointed out that it could seem like it's a very self-serving program. We just want to lower retention. Everybody gets a warm and fuzzy feeling when they walk in the door. It's really not the case, right? It's a win-win-win for everyone involved. So for the new hire, it's one-on-one assistance. It's a jump start on networking. Part of being a buddy is introducing your new hire to different people within the organization. I personally have no problem walking up to strangers and introducing myself to them, but that is not everyone, right? So it kind of helps bridge that gap. It gives them a single point of contact. Again, how many of you have reached out to someone and they're like, oh no, I don't handle that, and then they push you over to somebody else, no, I don't handle that, and then like 3 people later, your question still isn't answered, and you just kind of are spinning your wheels, right? So it's the buddy's job to go in and say, let me figure out who handles that, or let me send you to the appropriate person. Because I've been here, I know who to go to for that. they get a good knowledge of how things actually get done around here, and then a smooth acclimation period. That's really what we're looking for, is for that transition to be smooth, seamless, and as least awkward as possible. It can be really, really awkward. We're trying to keep it from being that way. So for Vology, it increases our employee motivation and retention. It increases communication. There are going to be instances where buddies can be cross-functional. We may have, a director of sales buddy with a director in the services organization that's been here for 6 months. So that way they can kind of compare and contrast their experiences. Again, it's not role specific. It's about how, you fit in at Vology and our culture and things like that. Enhanced employee development, as well as shared quality work processes and increased employee productivity. And then last but not least, for the buddy, so when I say buddy, you guys are the buddies. The new hire is the new hire, you are the buddy. For the buddy, you're recognized as a strong performer. We'll go over this in a couple of slides, but buddies cannot be on any type of performance improvement plan or, be underperforming. That's one of the requirements of being a buddy. So if your manager's like, yeah, go ahead, I would love for you to be a buddy, that's kind of, affirmation that you're doing a good job here. We think you're great and we want you to rub off on the new people that are coming into the organization. An expanded network, who doesn't love an expanded network? You never know when you're going to need somebody later on down the road. An opportunity to motivate others, a fresh perspective, and enhanced leadership and mentoring skills. That's one of the biggest takeaways from the buddy program, is your ability to exhibit the leadership DNA. Personally, I don't necessarily want to be a people leader at this point in my career here at Vology, but that doesn't mean I don't want to be a leader in general and known for leading something. So this is a great opportunity for someone who wants to either show that they're ready to be a people leader, which I have to say that slowly or it sounds like I say people leader, or, just kind of build those skills and those traits and characteristics. So the qualifications to be a buddy. We tried to keep it very short and sweet. There's no lengthy, crazy process that you have to go through. So it must be in good performance standing, not on a PIP. A tenure of at least 6 months. Makes sense to everyone, right? That we don't want someone who's been here for 2 weeks helping out someone who's been here for 2 days. Like, it just seems like common sense that you would want someone who's been here for a little longer. 6 months, in Vology days is like 3 years anywhere else. So you're already going to learn a ton of stuff in that 6 months. So that's really the cutoff. If you've been here less than 6 months, we absolutely love you for coming and being so engaged and involved. And we want you to be a buddy, but you have to wait until you've been here for 6 months to be qualified. Available to attend all buddy events. Sounds time-consuming. Not really. There are 2 things that you have to be able to attend, right? So training, be the best buddy. I'll be holding these training sessions later. Again, it's not today. Today's just to kind of let you know what the program is about. There will be 2 sessions, but there will also be a recorded session posted on ADP. So even if you work from midnight to 7 o'clock in the morning, you will have access to the Be the Best Buddy training. And you get to spend more time with me, and who doesn't want to do that? And then First Friday. So how many of you have been to First Friday? That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. So for those of you who don't know, First Friday is just kind of a mingling opportunity we do on the first Friday of every month. But it is not required by any means. It is completely optional. Not everyone likes to socialize with their coworkers, and that's okay. But we have the buddies encourage their new hires to go to First Friday because, again, it's great networking. It's an awesome way to get to know your coworkers, people that you don't interact with on a daily basis. I've literally seen people make friends that they would not be friends with outside of, the organization because they bonded over their love for craft beer at First Friday. Like, it happens, okay? So if the new hire wants to go to First Friday, it is required for the buddy to go to First Friday. If the new hire doesn't want to go, okay, that's fine. Then we can get them engaged and involved in another way. However, we understand there are limitations to this. So if you're on the 2nd or 3rd shift, probably can't attend First Friday. If you're not here that day, you have a crazy workload, we totally get it. We want to accommodate you as much as we're being accommodating to the new hire, right? Everyone's bandwidth is pretty much maxed out. We all have a ton of stuff going on. So, you know, you can delegate these responsibilities to someone else in terms of the first Friday or, you know, maybe meeting them on their first day kind of thing. And I'm an option for delegation. I will be more than happy to hang out with your buddy or your new hire on First Friday, right? So just keep that in mind. We're trying to keep it very open and flexible and not so rigid because we want as many people to be able to participate as possible if it's something that you say you want to do. And then last but not least, a positive recommendation from your manager, right? So if your manager is like, oh, they have a ton of deadlines coming up in the next 6 months, I really don't know that it's a good idea for them to stretch themselves so thin, you know, we want to take that into consideration. So we will be reaching out to your manager and getting their feedback as to whether or not they recommend that you be a buddy. Any questions on the requirements? You guys are making this easy peasy, I love it. So the selection process, again, trying to keep it super simple, right? Here, simplify everything for us. No exception here for the buddy program. So candidate, AKA you guys, fills out and submits an application to the buddy program coordinator, and I'm sure you can guess who the buddy program coordinator is. Then I will reach out to your manager or the managers of all the candidates who have applied, get some references, some feedback on whether they recommend them or not. And then last but not least, the candidate is informed whether or not they've been chosen to be a buddy. Super simple. In like my wildest dreams, I'll have way more buddies than new hires, right? Like I'll have 150 people apply to be a buddy and I'll be so happy I will literally cry. So applications are accepted year round. This application will be posted on ADP. You know, you can apply whenever, but new buddies are selected as needed, right? So unfortunately, I won't have 150 new hires start the first hire class of March. However, just to put it into perspective for you guys, we hired over 150 people last year. So we're going to need a lot of buddies. So just kind of keep that in mind. Tell all your friends that it's awesome to be a buddy. There may or may not be shirts in it for you and maybe some food and stuff like that. So, but again, it's completely voluntary. No one wants to be voluntold that they're going to be a buddy, right? So just to show you guys, I know when I hear application, I think of like grad school applications, job applications, and they're really lengthy and you have to go back like 80 years to who your neighbor was when you were 12. Like it's, no, we wanted to, again, keep it very simple. So this is what the application looks like. I know it's kind of small, but it's really just for reference. So there are four questions. Why are you interested in being a buddy? What do you hope to gain from being a buddy? What do you hope to offer your buddy? And then last but not least, anything else we should consider in considering you for the Scholarship Buddy program. Super simple. We're not looking for your life story and, you know, all of these things. Couple sentences, each question, you send it to me, you're good to go. Very, very easy. And again, all of the requirements for being a buddy are up there, so if you forgot, they're there as well. Responsibilities of you guys know, I can't do anything without a good meme.
You kept saying buddy, I kept thinking of it.
Yep, there you go. It's my favorite Christmas movie, in case anyone was wondering. However, these are the responsibilities, so contact on day one. We prefer it be face-to-face, obviously, so they know what you look like instead of just, you know, Wizard of Oz style, just some voice that's giving them all of this, like, wisdom and information. So whether that's, you know, shooting them an email, meeting them here their first day, you know, you can coordinate with me. They get here at 9 a.m., I give them a tour. You want to welcome them to the building? Cool. Like, I would absolutely love to see just a big welcoming committee for all of our new hires on their first day. And if it's not right when they get here, have a cup of coffee, take a walk around the parking lot. Surprisingly, the weather's been real nice outside, so capitalize on that, right? Make friends. introduce them to people, take them to coffee, have coffee here. We have free coffee everywhere. We have tea if you're not a coffee drinker. There are so many options to connect with a fellow employee here that don't even require spending money, to be completely honest. Eat. There are going to be so many opportunities to eat during the buddy program, taking your buddy out to lunch, ordering lunch in, different things like that. We all know food, free food, especially, is the way to everyone's heart. So we want to make sure that, you know, we're feeding everyone well, whether it be the buddy or the new hire. After all, you can't gain the Biology 15 if you don't eat. So First Friday, again, it's not mandatory for anyone to attend, but if the new hire is attending, we ask that the buddy attend as well. Be resourceful. You're going to be this person's point of contact. So as a buddy, you need to know where to find things, or you need to know who to ask to find things. You are their resource, right? And then you can share that knowledge and teach them to be resourceful. You know who that's going to help? This girl right here, who gets a million emails a day on how to find different things. I love answering those questions. However, that would be a great job for a buddy. Again, point of contact. Culture captain. You know our values, you know our DNA, stressing those to the new hire. Answering their questions. We do expect you to actually talk to your buddy. You know, in the Be the Best Buddy program, I go over kind of the do's and don'ts, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, a 24-hour turnaround time in regards to answering your buddy's questions, right? Seems pretty normal, 24 hours. You don't have to get to it right then, but maybe a little bit later. Don't ghost your buddy is really the moral of that story. Don't just leave them hanging and then they're like, oh, well, all right, guess that question won't get answered. Make introductions. I would love our buddies to introduce new hires to every single person that they know in their network, here at the office, if it's outside of the office, school, whatever, right? Again, I have no problem introducing myself to any stranger that I see roaming the halls. However, a new sales representative might be terrified of John Madasco. To walk up to him, he's been a long time, like, let's be real, right? Nice guy, best guy ever. However, it can be intimidating to make that introduction yourself, right? So that's where the buddy comes in. Confidential, open communication. So this, to me, is a very important piece of it. As a buddy, we don't care what you talk to them about, right? I don't want to know. I trust that as a buddy, you're having positive, productive conversations with your new hire. That's why you're a buddy, because you're the coolest and the most awesome, and you live our values and our DNA, and you know you're excited about the new people that are coming into the organization. So you don't have to report back at all. No questions asked, right? Of course, there are instances where if someone says something that does cause you concern, oh, you know, I'm being harassed by someone at the office, please tell VPOPS, like, please don't keep that confidential and keep it to yourself. And these, again, are things that we go over in the Be the Best Buddy training. If someone raises concern, I absolutely hate it here, I'm going to walk out tomorrow. If you feel like you want to share that with someone, what's the process to do that kind of thing? But it's confidential. We're not going to ask you, so what did you guys talk about? You have a vent session. That's okay. I have vent sessions. We all have frustrating days at the office. But are you then turning it around and ending on a positive? You know, what can we take out of this? What resources can we use to make it better, kind of thing. And then last but not least, follow up with them. Even if your buddy or your new hire has absolutely no questions for you every single time you talk to them, that's okay. They know you're there. They know you're making the effort, so make sure you're continually following up with them as a buddy. Training. So all buddies must complete Be the Best Buddy training, and we're going to make it super easy for anyone and everyone to complete it. Some of the training topics include an overview of the new hire's first 6 months onboarding plan, expected do's and don'ts. We're going to address some frequently asked questions. And again, if you're on the second or third shift, you missed the training sessions, absolutely no problemo. The session will be recorded and posted to ADP along with the application and more information than you could possibly know what to do with. So, tail end, I promised you I'd get you out of here in 30 minutes or less. So these are some of the frequently asked questions that people were asking me as I was creating this program. So I have a new hire this is for our managers and people leaders. I have a new hire, and I know who I want their buddy to be. Can I choose them myself? Yes, absolutely. If you have someone very specific that you want to be your new hire's buddy, that's cool. Hopefully they've already applied for the buddy program and they're super excited about it and they don't have to be voluntold that they're getting a new hire to be a buddy. But outside of that, VPOPS can do it for you. We can find someone either in a different function or in the same function and, you know, make them their buddy. Can a person have more than one buddy? You could be so excited that you just want all the buddies. Again, that would make me so happy. You can have multiple buddies, but you can only have one at a time, okay? In the beginning, it's going to be a bit more of a time commitment in terms of following up with them and checking in on them, but that will wane as you go through this process. It is 6 months that we ask that you be a buddy to that person. That could change in the future. Again, it's going to be continuous process improvement. So if people are like, oh my God, 6 months is just a really long time, maybe we shorten it to 3, right? But as of right now, it's 6 months. You can only have one buddy during that time. And then, will being a buddy get me a raise? That is everyone's question. Am I going to get some type of bonus or something when I become a buddy? Depends on how you look at it. You know me, glass half full. You'll get a raise in confidence. You'll get a raise in exposure in the organization, right? However, there is absolutely no monetary reward here. No money tied to this whatsoever. It is pure, unadulterated professional development. It's a way for you to do something awesome with your time here at Vology outside of your normal duties and responsibilities, right? So this is what's next. We're having the informational sessions now, so yay, you made it, step 1. Thank you so much for coming. Applications go out on 2/10, so that is Friday. I'll blast them out to everyone because I know everyone loves the sheer amount of emails that I send out to the entire company on a daily basis, so don't you worry, that will continue. I'm going to send them out, but then they'll also be posted to the ADP homepage. Applications are due on the 17th for the first round of buddies, but again, we will take them year-round. And then selection of buddies will happen. This is really just code for I need a couple days to contact people's managers. Be the Best Buddy training, we're doing 2 sessions, so hopefully you can attend one of them if you're chosen to be a buddy. The very first new hire class that will get buddies is the first class in March, which is March the 14th, I do believe, is that new hire class. So you'll be notified if you've got a buddy on 3/6, and you'll have a week to prep and get excited and pumped about being a buddy, and then we'll, make that introduction. And then the first Friday after the launch of the buddy program will be on April the 7th. And you'll get lots of email reminders from me about all of these things, so don't you worry. What questions do you guys have for me? Comments? Concerns? Yes, ma'am.
I just have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Like they already know that I'm not here on 3/6. So could I put that on my application that I would, obviously need to go to the next round?
Yeah, absolutely. So 3/6 is when we're assigning them. You don't have to be here to get assigned a buddy. It's when they actually start that you have to.
Maybe it was the 4/7 I looked at.
Could be. It's flexible. Again, we try not to make it super rigid, like, oh, it can't send first Friday.
If we know we're not here on certain days, should we submit that maybe with our application?
Sure, you're more than welcome to do that. Yes, absolutely. That's great. Hey, be as proactive as possible, right? So is there anything that you think we're missing from this? Have you experienced a buddy program or something similar before that?
Yeah, I went to something.
So this doesn't include like temp to hires, right? Or
no.
Okay.
No, it will only be for permanent employees.
So if someone is temp to hire and then gets hired, would they have a buddy?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How are you going to pair the buddies and the new hire? Is it within a certain, the same department? Well, could I be a buddy of somebody in the NOC? Because to me that seems kind of weird because I would think they'd be asking a lot of questions and I'm like, I feel like, no.
Yes, we will always try
to keep them
keep them in the same general function, right? Again, we didn't want to put so many restrictions on it. We're like, oh, well, we have 18 people in the services organization who want to be buddies, but all the people that we're hiring right now are sales, right? So if anything, they will be equal in rank, I guess you call it. So, you know, a director and a director. This is open to directors as well, I'll have you know. When we have external people come on board, I think everybody needs a buddy, right? So it doesn't matter if you're C-suite or you're an individual contributor, you're getting a buddy. So we will always try to keep them in the same function, but that may not always be the case, and it could work out that way, you know, it could work out better. But that's a great question. So this is what I want to leave you guys with. Leadership is not a rank, it's not a position, it's a decision, and it's a choice. So it has nothing to do with your position in our organization. I don't care if you are an individual contributor, lowest person on the totem pole, you can make a difference here and be a leader at Vology, regardless of, you know, what position you hold. So I really, really hope that I'll see applications from you guys to be buddies, and, you know, you'll come in and you'll make a difference for the new hires and you'll make a difference here at Vology. So if you guys have any questions, you know, I'm open door, open cube policy over in VPOPS, open inbox, open phone for you folks that don't sit here at headquarters. But you know, I really appreciate your time and coming out and taking some time out of your day to hang out with me and learn about this program that I'm really amped about.
Very cool.